Hi, I'm Chris Yost, Produce Operations Specialist, Albertsons Vaughn's Pavilions here in Southern California. And, as far as some cool things about me, married 20 years, been with her for 24 years. My wife was a pharmacy technician. That's where we met, in the grocery store, of course. She had a 5-year-old son. I adopted him. That boy is my flesh and blood through and through. It doesn't matter. That's my boy. But he had some learning disabilities. He has a lot of mental problems. So, it took a lot of patience and a lot of grace of God and prayer to get through a lot of that stuff. But, he's 28 years old, 29-year-old now. He has a beautiful 4-year-old daughter back east, and just some fantastic things. But those are some of the perspectives that I bring with me to the table that everybody has. Everybody has different experiences in life. I was an ROTC in high school. I wanted to go into the service. I blew my knee out and couldn't go. So I went into the fire department instead. I've done some cool things. I was a volunteer fire apparatus engineer for 15 years. I drove the fire trucks, fire engines, excuse me. There was some cool things I did. Fight fire, save lives, but I bring a lot of baggage with me because I saw a lot of death and destruction. But I bring that with me too. So again, we bring common things, we bring different things, and that's what we need to leverage in business. And I think that's where, if you look at it in business, I worked for an independent market, I worked for Lucky's, I worked for Albertsons, and now Albertsons companies, I've been with the companies that got bought out, I've been with the companies that did the buying out. But we need to leverage that because it's a melting pot. My company is a melting pot right now, just like America. Different backgrounds, different people, different upbringing, different education levels, different everything. But we've got to work together, and I think that's where finding the common ground has to be the priority, not what makes us different. It's cool to highlight every once in a while that, hey, we're different too, but we've got to remember that we've got common ground between us. Because that's what's wrong with, if you look at the political structure today, everybody's complaining about how different we are, but nobody's working together. Nobody's working on common ground. And I think in grocery, at least in our industry, it's real easy. It's a can of corn. And it doesn't matter if you spin it this way, spin it that way, it's a can of corn. Now, everybody has different upbringing, and you might think about gross. I might think about shrink. Or I might want to say it's line 5 gross and you say it's line 8 gross. Or it's front of the P&L, back of the P&L. Whatever the case may be, is we're all different. We all got trained different, came up different companies, different backgrounds. Again, it's diversity. But how do we work together? How do we find common ground to get the business model done? Because at the end of the day, we're here to make money, expand, keep the stores open. I don't ever want to close another store in my life. It's a horrible feeling. So how do we work together to make sure something like that never happens again? And I think that's the cool thing about when you talk about diversity. Leadership has changed. We've got every flavor of person in leadership now, which is great. Can we do more? Hell yeah. Yes, we can. However, it still needs to be merit-based. It still needs to be the right person for the right job. That's the reason I went back to school, to get a degree. Remember, I was bitter for a lot of years because I got passed over, I never got promoted, and boo-hoo for me. But you know what? I didn't go out and get a degree. I am now. I'm trying to better myself, and I'm trying to make sure my resume has the right qualifications for me to continue moving up the ladder. And I think that's what's going to help all of us just come together, work together, because again, we all have different backgrounds. We all have different cultural heritage, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, we have to work together. We have to find common ground. We have to communicate better. We have to live with each other better. And that means knowing how we're alike, not how we're different, but how are we alike and how are we going to get things done. Thank you for each of you. I've learned much from all of you. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.